Who's that? Commander Claw. Who's bad? Commander Claw. Welcome back to another video of the top 10, and I wanted to bring the top 10 instances from the Final Fantasy set because I guarantee you a lot of y'all really overlooked these cards. Granted, it's spoiler season, nobody's really going to talk about them, so I decided to talk about them, and I think they're going to go very well in a lot of players' decks. So, without further ado, before the set releases on June 13th, and recording of this video is June 4th, make sure you look out for these cards. They're definitely going to help a lot of y'all's decks. Let's get started. So I think this card is really absurd. It is, you have options. That is the most amazing thing in Magic when you have options for spells. So Fire Magic is for 1 red, it's an instant. It says tiered is his ability. Choose 1 additional cost. So for fire, it costs an additional 0 mana. Fire deals 1 damage to each creature. Okay. For 1 red mana, it deals 1 damage to each creature at instant speed. That's not common. Okay. Next up, it has, I'm reading it, Fyra. You pay an additional 2, so a total of 3 mana. It deals 2 damage to each creature. Now, I've seen that cost before 3 mana to deal 2 damage to each creature at instant speed. Cool. But it usually says like non dragon creature, non pirate creature. I've seen that. But this is for each creature. Then pay an additional 5 mana to cast Faraga. Fire magic deals 3 damage to each creature. So a total of 6 mana to do 3 damage to each creature. It's not the best, but it's still a board wipe at instant speed. Instant speed, you can't overlook that. That's the biggest thing about this card is instant speed to have these 3 different levels of how much damage you can choose, all optional. Once again, these 3 awesome optional cards for spells. For 1 blue, we got Ice Magic. It's an instant. It says tiered again. For the first one, Blizzard, for pretty much 0 additional cost. Return target creature to its owner's hand. That's awesome. For Blizana, tap an additional 2 mana. Target creature owners put it in their choice of top or bottom of their library. Okay, it's a bounce effect. You can get rid of creatures that are problematic and stall yourself for a turn. If you do target a commander, the player has the option to put it back into the command zone, just to let you know that. Uh, the third ability is Blizzaga for 5 in blue and additional 2 more mana. That will be a total of 8 mana. Target creature's owner shuffles it into the library. This is not bad, but really heavy costing. Um, where do I see you using that? Maybe to save your Crater Hoof Behemoth and put it back into your library and redraw it and tutor it again. Yeah. Um, not bad. Not bad. But 8 mana, kind of expensive. You definitely need some cost reducers. Once again, these 3 awesome optional cards for spells. For 1 blue, we got Ice Magic. It's an instant. It says tiered again. For the first one, Blizzard, for pretty much 0 additional cost. Return target creature to its owner's hand. That's awesome. For Blizana, tap an additional 2 mana. Target creature owners put it in their choice of top or bottom of their library. Okay, it's a bounce effect. You can get rid of creatures that are problematic and stall yourself for a turn. If you do target a commander, the player has the option. This one's my favorite one. I think this is absurd. I really do. Haste Magic. For 1 and a red, it's an instant. Target creature gets +3/+1 and gains haste. Exile the top card of your library. You may play it into your next end step. What? Okay, so it literally does 3 things. It buffs your creature, gives your creature haste, and you get to play the top card of your library until your next end step, which is most likely until the end of your turn if you cast it on your turn. However, you could use this on another player's turn. You won't be able to really take advantage of haste, but you do buff your creature +3/+1, and you get to exile the top card of your library and play it to your next end step. Not bad, not bad. All for 2 mana, instant speed. These are like some shenanigans. Moogle's Valor for 3 and 2 white. It's an instant. For each creature you control, create a 1/2 white Moogle creature token with lifelink. Then creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. So I automatically going towards token decks, aristocrat decks. Reason why you're pretty much doubling up the amount of creatures you have. Yeah, yeah. And, you know, they gain indestructible. So depending when you use this, you can use this during combat and go to attack. And the creatures, your original creatures, can gain indestructible. That's beneficial. Or, a player uses a board wipe, like a blasphemous act, and all of a sudden all your creatures have indestructible, and you made additional 1/2 bodies. Okay. Or you just needed to protect yourself and you need to have enough blockers, so you create this wall of creatures and they're all indestructible. It has options. It has options. I like it. So this card has been used in a really cool combo to eliminate players' life totals. I've seen the video of it. Overkill and the other card from Tarkir Dragonstorm. I won't have it in this video, but Overkill for 2 on a black, it's an instant. Target creature gets -0, -9,999 until end of turn. Yeah, that can take care of a Blight Steel, Dark Steel Colossus, Blight Steel Colossus, Eldrazi's that don't have protection from 3. But I think this card is a nice removal spell, straight up. So we got Tifa's Limit Break for 1 green instant, another optional type of spell. Tiered again. The first ability is Somersault for additional 0 mana. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. That is like a mini giant growth. Not bad. Then it has Meteor Strikes, pay an additional 2. Double target creature's power and toughness until end of turn. I think that is amazing. For literally 3 mana, double target creature's power, toughness till end of turn. So if you have a 50/50, it turns into 100/50. No, actually 100/100. Sorry. Then Final Heaven for a total of 8 mana. Triple target creature's power and toughness till end of turn. I mean, you're pretty much, if you pull that off, you better be swinging for commander damage, and your opponents did not see it coming. That's all I got to say. Yeah. So back to more of these optional modal spells. Restoration Magic for 1 white mana. It's an instant. It has tiered ability. Pay an additional 0 mana for the cure ability. Target permanent gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. What I like about this, it says target permanent. That means it can protect a battle, a planeswalker, an artifact, a creature, an enchantment. That's what a permanent is. Or even a land. Just saying. Next ability is Cura for 1 and 1 white mana. Target permanent gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. You gain 3 life. Okay, so somewhere where you need extra additional 3 life to gain life trigger, that works. Let's see. The last one is Kuraga for 3 and a white and the additional white. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. You gain 6 life. Not bad. Total of 5 mana to protect everything that you have on board. Everything you have on board for 5 mana. That is a must. So this is another one of my favorites out of this set for instant speed. Magic Damper for 1 white blue. For 1 blue mana. It's an instant. Target creature you control gets +1/+1. Gains hexproof until end of turn. Untap it. I think the biggest things here is giving your creature hexproof and untapping it. And it's in the color blue. Obviously, if you have a creature that has a tapped marker on it to trigger a activated ability, this gives it an additional 1. But also you get to give it hexproof. So you might protect it at a certain point in time. And it's just useful. For 1 blue mana, that is crazy. That's all I have to say. It's the efficiency of these spells. Luxos's Sacrifice is an instant for 1 blue mana. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a legendary creature or pay 2. Counter target activated ability, triggered ability, or non-creature spell. Well, I automatically think this is an amazing card because it has a stifle effect, right? Uh, and it counters a non-creature spell. Jesus Christ, this is crazy. Uh, it is a heavy cost where you have to sacrifice a legendary creature, but that's not a big deal because there's a bunch of legendary creatures that you play in the 99 all the time. But where it really shines is, I think it's like Kira's Balanced Sky. It's the dragon from Kamigawa where whenever it dies, it gets a bunch of triggers. I think that is a great card to have with this card, because if you need to do a game winning counter of an ability or triggered ability or non creature spell, and you get to sacrifice your commander that has a death trigger, that's a win win win. Bunch of value all over the place. For 3 in blue, we got the card called Eject. It's an instant. This spell can't be countered. Anytime that is printed on a card, it's a really good card. This spell can't be countered. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, draw a card. That is 3 things for 4 mana. First of all, it is a bounce spell. Okay, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Gets rid of planeswalkers, enchantments, artifacts, creatures, battles, and it can't be countered. It can't be countered. Okay, it can't be countered. And you get to draw a card. The only way to stop this card is another bounce spell that says return target spell to owner's hand. And even then, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. That's really it. Yeah. Thank you for watching this video on the top 10 instances from the Final Fantasy set. Hopefully, some of these cards you will be discovering when you buy, if you buy, the box or the boxes or the collector boxes, whatever. I know it's expensive. I'm probably not getting it, or definitely not the collector's boosters. I actually think the singles are going to be expensive, to be honest with you. To be honest with you. But with that being said, thank you for watching this video. Hey, hit the like button, comment, subscribe. Peace.